than a woman reaches her 40s. She is generally more established in her profession, children almost independent. She has the opportunity to take more care of herself, but then the menopause hits. The symptoms of the menopause, which unbalance hormones, weight, and then the process of losing weight becomes an immense challenge. As soon as there is a hormonal imbalance, there is a drop in estrogen production, which affects the endothelium, which is the lining of the vessels, and also the production of serotonin, the feel-good hormone. It also affects the production of progesterone, which is responsible for controlling PMS symptoms, mood, weight control, and sugar levels, among other functions. The menopause also reduces testosterone production, which affects energy and muscle mass, and the scales only get bigger. But calm down, because there are ways to overcome this challenge without suffering.
Hey you guys, are you enjoying our content? Why I'm asking this? Because according to our channel analysis, 97% of the people who watch us are not subscribed to the channel. Do you believe this? So I sincerely ask, if you have liked our content, subscribe to our channel. Let's make this content reach everyone around the world, and let's make this a healthier world, okay? So subscribe our channel and God bless you.
But my friends, if living is an art, so is losing weight. Slimming is the art of balance, tasty combinations and strategies. But what happens when the scales get stuck and won't go down? It keeps just the same weight. Well, first of all, you have to bear in mind that the weight loss process is not linear. In other words, it won't always be going down. It depends on physiological and above all emotional factors. And once again, calm down. The first step you need to take in order to start losing weight is a self-assessment. Be honest with yourself and check if at some point self-sabotage, if you're not fooling yourself at some point, that innocent little sweet that raises your insulin and you're pretending it's not happening. The problem is when these dietary slip-ups become recurrent. So remember, eating healthily is for the rest of your life. And start taking that word diet out of your head. I'm not on a diet. You eat this and it's a lifestyle. Because when you talk about dieting, people set a deadline for finishing this dietary re-education. It doesn't have to be a deadline. It's a lifetime. And another thing, never count calories. This will become an obsessive process. That won't help at all. It's much more important to know how to choose your food rather than counting the calories in each item. It's also important to avoid overeating. It's not because our focus is on eating good fats that we can eat chestnuts wildly. You have to have common sense. And here's a very common mistake that people make when they enter a plateau stage of weight loss stabilization. People reduce the amount of food they eat. In other words, they've stopped losing weight. So what do? They cut back even more. Remember, closing your mouth and starving yourself will always be a bad strategy for losing weight because your body is intelligent. When you reduce the amount you eat too much, it says, well, since there's going to be a famine, a shortage, a difficult period, let's spend less too. And then you put the weight back on. Are you keeping track of your measurements? The weight on the scale alone doesn't help. Sometimes you're losing fat and gaining lean mass. In other words, you're gaining muscle. And then you may not even notice that the scales are dropping. So if you're not taking your measurements yet, start doing so right now. But it's normal to understand that in the process of losing weight, it's normal for the body to slow down in the process. After all, our body has a memory and it's realizing that something is different. You've cut down on sugar, or you've had a drastic reduction, or you've included other thermogenic foods in your diet, or more protein. So the body is sending you a message. And it often says, I can't do without fat. So you're cutting out everything, including fat, and your body feels it. This process of plateauing, of stopping losing weight, also happens to those who want to gain muscle mass. Sometimes you gain and stop. One tip for getting out of this plateau, this weight loss stagnation, might be to start intermittent fasting, which is great for breaking down these barriers. And if you're already fasting and you're still in the plateau effect, maybe you need to increase your fasting time, do more days, more time. Perhaps assess how your gut bacteria, your microbiota are doing. After all, are you taking care of the bacteria that live in your gut? Have you been eating fiber regularly? Have you been drinking enough water? All this influences your weight loss. An unregulated microbiota can be a major problem since it is in the gut that much of the digestion and assimilation of nutrients and vitamins takes place. Taking care of your gut health is fundamental to the process of losing weight. But if that's not your case either, there's one more item you need to check. Well, I'm a big advocate of physical exercise, but I recognize that it's not mandatory for weight loss. Some people even lose weight without exercising. And there are people who exercise to compensate for eating more. So sometimes people who start exercising end up putting on more weight because they're compensating. Since I've trained, I can eat. But physical exercise is fundamental not only for losing weight, but also for living healthily. And then you'll lose weight and have a more toned, beautiful, and strong body, as well as exercise generating more joy, higher self-esteem, and better metabolic health. Remember that aerobic exercise is important, but I suggest that you do it under the supervision of a professional so that you don't wear yourself out unnecessarily. It's also important to combine weight training with aerobics. And according to studies, older people need to increase their protein intake to compensate for the loss of lean mass that comes with hormonal decline after the age of 35. And the more lean mass you have, the more your body consumes energy. Muscle is a tissue that uses a lot of energy, even when at resting, and physical activity can help you break the plateau effect. If you're already doing physical activity, it's worth changing your workout, changing the time and intensity, adding another activity, or increasing the time you train, or perhaps increasing the way you do it, perhaps the way you do it. If you have a knee problem, work your upper limbs more. The important thing is to do it. You'll see the difference it will make to your life. Then you come along and tell me, Dayan, I don't fit in with anything you've said so far, so let's look at your sleep. Is your night's sleep a quality night? You already know the importance of sleeping well for better results. Then follow the tips I always give you, such as practicing a sleep ritual. Start by dimming the lights in your home. Don't watch movies that cause anxiety or fear at night. This also goes for music. I don't know about you, but I don't listen to upbeat music at night before bed. Only classical or international music. Another thing you have to look at is how stressed you are. Stress can pause your weight loss process, and that's real. It's very important that you take time out to look after yourself, calm down, take a breath, meditate. This is all about maintaining emotional health. Laughing, going out with friends, dancing, practicing a hobby, reading, all this is part of your emotional health. Set aside at least an hour of your day for your own leisure time. Always remember that stress is part of life. The important thing is to know how to deal with it. And last but not least, have you been living with people who have the same goal as you? If not, do they at least respect your new choices? Well, in all these years in my slimming program and the Vitality Code, which are courses I run, I've seen several cases where the woman pulled the whole family into the dietary re-education. So guys, with these tips I've given you, it is possible to lose weight after 40. Summary, it's all a question of knowing how to choose and combine foods in a balanced way so that your body reacts and follows where you want to go. And I hope you've enjoyed these tips and live healthy, live with passion and with God in your heart.